Are you still trading like it's 2020 while AI quietly eats your edge alive? Because if you think charts and Twitter threads are enough for the next 3 years, this video is going to be uncomfortable. Today, I'm going to show you how AI is already changing trading right now, why most retail traders are completely misreading this shift, and what you can actually do to avoid getting wiped out while everyone else upgrades their brain. By the end of this video, you'll understand the new rules of the game, how AI really works behind the scenes, where the hype is straight up lying to you, and how to use these tools without handing your account over to a black box. The first thing you need to understand is simple but brutal. The market you learned to trade in is gone. Not slowly fading, not changing a little, gone. A massive chunk of global trading volume is already driven by algorithms and AI-assisted systems. In major equity and futures markets, estimates regularly show algorithmic trading making up over half of total volume. That means you're not trading against other people clicking buttons after dinner anymore. You're trading against machines that don't sleep, don't hesitate, and don't get scared. And no, this isn't new. What's new is the speed and intelligence layer that's been added on top. But here's the part nobody tells you in the thumbnails. AI is not a magic money machine. It's more like a jet engine. Strap it to a paper airplane, and you don't get a fighter jet. You get flaming cardboard and regret. So let's slow this down and talk about what AI is actually doing in trading right now without the hype. Think of it in 3 layers. The first layer is data. AI can process more information in a second than you can in weeks. Price history, volume, order book shifts, earnings reports, news headlines, macro releases, even social media sentiment, all at the same time. Humans batch information. You check a chart, then you read news, then you scroll X. AI doesn't do that. It ingests everything together and looks for relationships across all of it. That alone changes the game. The second layer is pattern recognition. Traditional technical analysis is you looking at a chart and saying, that looks like a flag, or RSI is oversold, maybe it bounces. AI does an eyeball. It scans thousands of instruments for tiny, repeating behaviors. Changes in volatility regimes. Volume anomalies that only show up during certain macro conditions. Correlations between assets that come and go. In one industry study, firms using adaptive machine learning models reported up to a 30% improvement in trading efficiency because the system learned from changing conditions instead of assuming the market behaves the same forever. That's not just faster analysis, that's different analysis. The third layer is execution. When an AI system gets a signal, it doesn't second guess itself. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't wait to see how the candle closes. It fires orders with precise size, timing, and risk rules. Studies on AI-driven execution show reductions in execution latency of up to 80%. By the time most humans decide whether to click buy, the move has already started. So yes, if you're manually trading short time frames, you are bringing a calculator to a supercomputer fight. But that doesn't mean you're doomed. Because here's the part, AI cannot solve for you. What game are you actually playing? This is where most traders get destroyed. They hear AI is beating humans and split into 2 camps. Camp 1 ignores it, doubles down on old habits. Same indicators, same time frames, same excuses when it stops working. Camp 2 does the opposite. They buy a shiny AI bot, don't really understand it, turn it on, and hope it trades them into early retirement. Both paths end badly. Let's talk about the problem nobody markets in AI trading courses. The gap between backtests and reality. On paper, AI trading bots look like gods. Perfect equity curves, triple-digit annual returns, tiny drawdowns, 90% win rates. If those systems were truly stable, they wouldn't be sold to retail traders for a monthly fee. They'd be quietly running billions. One of the biggest reasons for this gap is something called look-ahead bias. In plain English, the model is cheating. There have been studies where large language models appeared to predict past stock movements with insane accuracy. But when researchers dug deeper, they realized the model had already seen the outcomes in its training data. News articles, post-event analysis, historical commentary. It wasn't predicting the future. It was remembering the past. That doesn't help you in 2026. Then there's overfitting. This is where a model gets so perfectly tuned to historical data that it collapses the moment conditions change. Multiple academic studies have shown that machine learning models built only on technical indicators often perform barely better than a coin flip live, around 49 to 54% accuracy. After costs, many underperform simple buy and hold. So yes, AI can look brilliant on paper. That doesn't mean it survives contact with the real market. Now, let's bring this down to your level. As a retail trader, where do you actually stand? Institutions already have AI baked into their workflows. They have faster data feeds, servers sitting next to exchanges, cheaper capital, and teams of quants. You are not beating them on speed. You are not beating them on 1-minute scalps. That game is over. But there is another game you can win. The human plus AI game. This is where most people misunderstand the opportunity. AI is not your replacement. It's your research team. Here's what that actually looks like. Let's say you trade swing moves over days or weeks, not 5-second candles. You use an AI screener to scan thousands of stocks and narrow them down to 20 that match your criteria. Strong earnings trends, rising momentum, unusual volume, improving sentiment. That alone saves hours. Then you use AI to summarize earnings calls and reports in plain English. Not opinions, just here's what management keeps talking about. Here's where growth is coming from. Here's what risks keep popping up. You're not reading hundreds of pages. You're reading a clear summary. Then you apply your own rules, your own strategy. Simple, tested logic. You're not letting AI invent a black box. You're using it to speed up finding and validating setups. Finally, you use AI to stress test risk. What happens if volatility spikes? What if you lose 3 trades in a row? Where are you overexposed without realizing it? In that setup, AI isn't in control. You are. The traders who get steamrolled in the next few years won't lose because AI is too powerful. They'll lose because they refuse to stop trading like it's 2015. They'll manually scan charts while someone else gets a ranked list in seconds. They'll trade on gut feelings while someone else has tested their strategy across multiple market regimes. They'll ignore risk until drawdown hits while someone else has AI watching exposure around the clock. Now here's the key moment. Who actually wins? Not AI alone. Not humans alone. The strongest results come from hybrid setups. AI does what it's good at. Data, patterns, speed. Humans do what they're good at. Context, judgment, risk tolerance. AI doesn't know your life. It doesn't care if a 40% drawdown ruins your sleep. It will happily optimize a strategy that looks great on a chart and feels like torture to live through. You care. That's your edge. So you're not choosing AI or me. You're choosing between 3 versions of yourself. One ignores AI and slowly falls behind. One worships AI and gambles with better software. One learns how to use AI without surrendering control. That third version survives the next decade and thrives. Because the real edge isn't having AI. Everyone will have it. The edge is knowing how to use it better than the person on the other side of your trade. Conclusion. The floor is rising. Easy edges are dying faster. One indicator strategies don't last forever. But that's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to get serious. If you adapt, you don't just survive, you win. Tap the next video on your screen and I'll show you how to build a simple AI-assisted trading workflow you can actually trust. If you have thoughts on today's topic or something you'd like me to dig deeper into, feel free to leave a comment. I always appreciate the conversation. And if you got value from this, tap like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the alert bell so you're here for the next breakdown. See you next time.